and it's okay also to take time for myself. And also there is this last thing is that I got much used to it. And now to get me destabilized, it takes a lot of harassment. I would really say it would take thousands and thousands of people. But if just, honestly, if just a few people threaten me or harass me today, it will not even get to me anymore. So I guess there is also this phenomenon, you get used to it. Like
so over the years, you've developed this coping mechanism, but you had to build it up. You had to build your defenses, and having your friends check the comments seems to be advice that you could give to other women who are in your position. We've heard from, at UNESCO, we've heard from female politicians who can only do their job if their friends are filtering the comments for them. It's their survival mechanism.
But it's free work you ask to do for your friends, so it's not a nice thing to do. I really have the luck to have friends who accept to do it, but I understand that it's also complicated. And I would say also take care of people who read the comments for you, because even these people can freak out reading what some people say about you on the internet.
Content moderation, it can expose you to trauma. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
I had members of my families one day who called me, actually my parents, who are not in the internet that much, and one day they just found out one video with some comments and they called me completely panicked, like, how is this possible? Did you see what's happening? And I was completely used to it. I was like, yeah, it's normal. But for people who are not used to it and who are close to you, it can be violent.
It is violent, and you're not getting any support. There is no support from the institutions that we trust for this kind of problem. So you couldn't turn to the police, you couldn't turn to a union of influencers. You don't have these resources available.
Well, I went to the police, nothing happened, but I didn't go many times because it's a lot of time and energy, and I just felt like it was useless. And also there is a problem with the police, is that some of these words are written on social media platforms with anonymous accounts, so the police needs to cooperate with these platforms, and sometimes these platforms like X, for example, ex-Twitter, don't want to cooperate. So it's also difficult for the police, which I understand. And I think the biggest support I found was with other news influencers, or even just influencers, when I had a problem, who would just support me publicly. And actually it helps a lot, because then you receive a lot of love, and you also receive a kind of justice. And sometimes, like, a lot of people are just going to say, no, you're telling the truth, and it helps when people will comment positively and re-establish the truth, because sometimes it's just a question of truth or false. Then it actually helps just to receive nice messages and to feel like you have support from other content creators.
But it's like the Wild West, really. A completely unregulated space that you have to depend on people's goodwill for your justice. Thank you so much for joining us today, Salome. And thank you to our audience for joining us online for this UNESCO Talks. Make sure you hit the follow button.